Hello everyone, welcome to my corner of the world. Today I have a super sophisticated anniversary card to share with you, and it features some dry embossing and some heat embossing, and I am featuring the Sweetly Scripted stamp set that's got these well, there's 6 lovely greetings, all sort of a lovely script and sort of long to go on your cards. So I'm starting with a card base. Now this is the thick basic white, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25, and I want this to be in the landscape so that it will fit the stamp beautifully there. So I'm gonna heat emboss my greeting. So I'm just using my embossing buddy there just to sort of take off any fingerprints. And then I've got my Versamark ink. Now this is, if you've not come across it before, this is a clear ink that is super sticky, that's fantastic for doing watermarks, but it's also fantastic at putting a sticky greeting down and then gently sprinkling some silver embossing powder on there to catch it so that it's held in place for when I put my heat tool on it. Now I don't like to put a lot of embossing powder on my card, just enough to pick up the greeting, and then I'm just going to give it a quick flick just to take off any extra or stuff that shouldn't be there, and just check in to make sure I haven't got anywhere I don't want it to be. Clear everything out of the way, and then I like to use my heat tool on a little tray that has some aluminium foil on it. So the tool's going to be a bit noisy for a few moments, but only for a few moments. So I like to use this old set of chopsticks to just hold it in place so I don't burn my fingers. And I'm just making sure that my embossing powder melts nicely into the Versamark without scorching my paper. So there we go, just noisy for a few moments. And then I'm just going to look to see that it's all nice and shiny. So I know that all of that powder's now melted into the ink. Okay, so now we're going to work a little bit on that front piece. And I am going to be using this lovely Layered Florals embossing powder. Now, it is a really deep one, so it gives a beautiful deep 3D image. So I've got my piece of cardstock, and I'm going to get my cut and emboss machine, and I'm just going to pop my piece of card in like this. And then on the bottom here, I have my #1 plate. And then I'm going to put my embossing folder in hinge first, and then my embossing plate, which is #4. I'm just going to gently crank that through. And now I've got a really beautiful embossed piece, really sort of outstanding. Now the measurements for this card will be on my blog, and there'll be a link directly below this video, so it will take you to that particular post. So this piece of card here is 4.5 by 3, and this is a piece of smoky slate which I've made 1/8 of an inch bigger all round So I've got a really, really dainty border for my super sophisticated card. So just a little bit of liquid adhesive and get that centered like that. I'm going to bring my little mat back because white on white doesn't work so good for you guys. So there I've got my nice layer, just a very, very narrow border. And then I'm going to get some of this gorgeous ribbon. Now this is 1/8 metallic and it's silver and white. And you get a roll of this, 10 yards of this and 10 yards of vanilla and gold in the same pack. And so you could make this card perhaps using vanilla, very vanilla card, and then maybe something like crumb cake instead of the smoky slate layer. So we're just going to use a little bit of tape to just hold this in place. If you've seen my videos, you know I use this all the time for my ribbon, because I've got this terrible fear that someone will take the card out of the envelope and it will fall apart. It's just my little quirk, really. And then we're going to put some dimensionals. These are like double-sided sticky foam pads, which just helps pop it up. I'm using the edges here because they work just as well as the ones in the middle. And we just take the backing off. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like to put one in the middle just to give it a little bit more support. I'm going to center that up between the top of my card and the greeting there. And then we're going to go and get this piece of ribbon again. Now the way that I do my ribbon is I make it look as though the ribbon has gone all the way around my card and then tied in a knot in the front. But as you can see, it's only got ribbon at the back. So that saves on ribbon, but it also saves on weight. And since I send a lot of my cards international, then I'm always mindful of the weight. Now, the other thing I do like to do is to just take a glue dot, oh, lively, and stick it under my knot. And that just holds everything in place where I want it to be. And then my finishing touch is some rhinestones. Now, it struck me that this would make a great 25th wedding anniversary as well because of the silver. And if you did it in gold, it would make a great 50th anniversary as well. But hey, this could just work for any anniversary at all. So there is my super sophisticated card featuring both dry embossing and heat embossing. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. Any comments, please just put them below and I'd be happy to read them. If you've any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. I want to thank you for choosing to spend some time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you and bye-bye for now.